Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Here's the headline from the Crypto Basic. XRP coiling like a spring. Next move could melt faces. Ah, yes, indeed. The elusive face melt. That's what we're actually waiting for when XRP finally enters price discovery, true price discovery, for the first time in over, oh my God, it's crazy it's been this long, in over, we're basically at 7.5 years. Like, that's crazy. You know, just tapping a new all-time high. That's fantastic. I was elated to see that. Glad that we already got that. That part's already out of the way. But tapping that's not price discovery. Price discovery is when you rip above that all-time high in an impulsive move on the chart, and it just hasn't been there before, and so you don't know exactly what that's going to look like. That's the part we're looking for. That is the part that's next, and there's so many good reasons to believe we're right there, right at the precipice. Like, that is the next thing to come, and I'm going to share a bunch of them with you in this latest Moon Lambo Hot Jam. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, let's kick things off with this post from TechDev, one of the most popular analysts in crypto. He's out here sharing this post with his 533,000 followers. It's the Others chart. Others is the top 125 coins by market cap, excluding the top 10 coins by market cap. So XRP is not included in there, but I'm always curious to look at this chart anyway, because if this thing's getting hot, you know the whole market's going to go anyway. It's just another interesting way to break it down. Also, I hold a ton of coins outside of the top 10, so I care for that reason as well. But here he wrote, and by the way, this is from the morning July 6th here. The most explosive altcoin move in 5 years awaits. I'm just going to show there is broad acceptance. This is the moment that in time that we live in. History does rhyme with itself, and it's ridiculous if you don't think that's the most probable next move. At this point, it's ridiculous if you don't think that's what's most probable, even though I'll acknowledge nobody knows for sure what's going to happen. If you're playing the odds, and we are talking about probabilities here, that's the side to bet on. I firmly believe that. And he's not the only one. Take a look at this post from chart analyst Mikey Bull Crypto. This is the crypto total market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So rest of the alts in here, within the top 125 coins by market cap. But he says, altcoin cap coiling up for a bigger move. High probability of being explosive when the majority has given up. And yeah, a lot of people have given up. And it's just fascinating. You can look here and you can see this. Again, it's the total 2 chart here. That's the name of the chart. It's excluding Bitcoin. Actually, it's total 3 because it excludes Ethereum also. And so this is coiling up. And chart analysts, any reputable chart analyst can see this. And it's happening at the same time that XRP itself, you look at the XRP chart, it is coiling up, which I'm going to show you in just a second. And there's no question as to whether or not XRP is coiling up. Oh, absolutely it is. And the last time it did what it's doing right now, it went completely ballistic. I'll show you in a second here, but let me do this in order. Here's another post. This one's from chart analyst Crypto Wizard. This is the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin and ETH, so it's the total 3 chart again. And he says, the rally is left. It's been boring, right? Not for long. Total 3 is setting up the same formation. It's near identical to the last rally. So you can see what happened last cycle. That's where I move my mouse right here. And it's going to look something like that where I'm moving my mouse right here. This is what we're about to get into. It's exactly where we are. I'm telling you, folks, like, by a lot, the most probable thing is this thing goes absolutely insane. You can't have this much confluence and global liquidity increasing, hitting all-time highs in recent days, which it is. Stock market's picking back up. Stock market hit a new all-time high. Gold showing weakness in the chart. There's just so many things. I don't know how you couldn't believe that the most probable thing is that this thing gets absolutely insane. It just doesn't compute to me. It's so obvious. It's so obvious, not by a little bit. And I don't always talk like this. I talk with this level of conviction when I genuinely have this level of conviction, and here I do. It makes sense to believe this thing is going to go. Here's a post from Stock Money Lizards, Bitcoin price and Satoshi meter. So this guy, this is his proprietary metric. He calls it a Satoshi meter. And basically you can use it as a cycle top indicator. And this is for Bitcoin specifically, but after Bitcoin peaks, then, that's usually when alt season's going on, and it can carry on for some time after Bitcoin peaks. We haven't gotten there, folks. Look at the screen here. This is showing the previous 3 cycles compared to where we are right now. We're just not there. And so here he wrote, Bitcoin, despite the fact that we have been in a 2.5-year bull run, there will be another massive leg up this year. Satoshi Meter has a lot of room to grow. Yeah, that sure as hell is true. Look at how high it peaked up here. Each of the previous 3 cycles, nowhere even near that. Which makes sense, though, because we haven't had the crazy alt season either. So, like there's so many things that obviously occur every single cycle that haven't yet. But we're at that point where, yeah, you better expect it's going to come pretty damn soon. Absolutely. This is a top indicator. We're not topped yet. We will be, and I'll show you when we are. As soon as this thing's flashing the warning signs, absolutely I'll be highlighting it. Here's a post from Chart Analyst Mustache. This is the crypto total market cap, and he says, altcoins, Bitcoin total market cap. 5 trillion is the next. And so here, the asset class, when he posted this, which is about what it is now, of course, $3.32 trillion. He's talking about the asset class becoming worth $5 trillion. And my God, when it hits that level, there are going to be some altcoins that have gone on absolute tears. This is where you get the 10, 15, 20-fold increase stuff. And many will run higher than that. We'll see how many, but there will be some crazy multiplier effects here. And he says that means a new all-time high for Bitcoin and many altcoins out there. You're not bullish enough. Spot on. Here's a post from Cantonese Cat. Let's talk about XRP the rest of the video. Take a look at this. XRP USD chart here. And he says XRP 2-day, Bollinger Band squeeze, big move likely to come soon. So here you can see how tight they are right now. Look at the blue lines and how they've narrowed compared to when XRP was running earlier in the year. And this is a metric that I talked about consistently throughout 2024 because XRP Ballinger Bands got the tightest they'd been in history last year. And the tightening does indicate that you're going to have an explosive move. Yeah, at some point you're going to have an explosive move. That absolutely indicates that. It just doesn't tell you if the move's going to be up or down. And I insisted, since we were in a bull market and XRP consolidated and it's never been positioned so perfectly in history and for legal clarity and everything else, it just didn't make sense to believe that when XRP had the explosive move that it would be down. It made sense to believe it would be up. And it was up. It was absolutely up. And you can see what happened after the election. The breadth opened up here. The Bollinger Band opens up here. Everything opened up in markets in general. And for XRP specifically, you can see what happened. I mean, you guys lived through this, right? This just happened not that long ago. And what I'm telling you is this metric has tightened yet again. It's a key metric that made it so obvious this thing was going to burst last year, and obviously it did. I'm telling you it's doing it again. And it makes sense that it would be doing it here. Why? Because XRP historically has 2 major pumps separated by about a half-year gap. So we're about there. It doesn't mean it has to be 6 months. I'm just saying that there's a notable gap, and then you have the second leg up. That's what's next. So it makes sense that it's tightened in the meantime. Makes sense that all of the rich people, all the smart money out there, they've spent the last half year accumulating XRP. And there's on-chain evidence of that, obviously. I've highlighted in multiple videos. So, yeah, guess what happens next, folks? It rampages to the upside. So this metric doesn't tell you it's going to rampage to the upside. I'm telling you that it's my conviction it will, because we're in a bull market and this thing is not over. Here's a post from Steph is Crypto pointing out this metric also. He says the XRP Bollinger Bands are extremely tight, big pump incoming. And he's comparing where we are right now, how tight they've gotten, compared to November when it finally burst. It's happening again, folks. It's coming. It's absolutely coming. Take a look at this post from chart analyst Mellerin, and this is what was referenced in that the headline of that article I referenced at the outset of the video. This analyst wrote the following: XRP is coiling like a spring. And when it snaps, boom, every breakout in history started quiet. This one's about to get loud. XRP Army, get ready for liftoff. This move could melt faces. Yeah, it will. This is the face melt season that we've been waiting for and talking about all this time. The true face melting happens in the second pump, not the first pump. It gets hot, it gets fun, it's exciting. Love to see that XRP hit a new all-time high, but historically it's the second pump where the face melting happens. That's what's next here. And take a look at this post from Crypto Insight UK. He shared the screen grab from the latest edition of his newsletter, which is absolutely fantastic consistently. And I just want to share with you this snippet. And so the headline here is XRP breaking the downtrend. It says, I'm going to discuss two altcoins, XRP and ENA. So in this video, of course, I'm only talking about XRP. So starting with XRP, its market dominance is showing an interesting development on the 3-day chart. If we look at the 3-day RSI, Relative Strength Index, at the bottom of the screen, we can see that it has broken a downtrend for the first time since its recent or local highs. And so that would be the part down here for those of you looking at the screen. With that, the fact that we've crossed bullish on the 3-day RSI, I'm becoming increasingly excited from a more zoomed out perspective on XRP dominance. What we can see is that we've pretty much completed a Wyckoff accumulation pattern, and I would argue we're nearing the end of phase D and about to enter phase E. So that would be right here after the sign of strength. That's the blast off zone right there, effectively. He says, if that's correct, we should see significant upside in XRP dominance. If this coincides with Bitcoin breaking out to new all-time highs and broader capital flowing into the market, I believe we could witness a major price expansion for XRP, one that few are currently expecting. Many are calling for a top around 14% dominance, but I believe we could push as high as 20%. There's even a possibility we reach 30%, though I'm personally targeting the 20% zone, which would represent a 5x increase in dominance from current levels. Okay, if that happens, what that will mean for the price of XRP, it'll just be unworldly. It will be completely surreal if it gets to those percentages. So I will say a lot of the analysts that I follow that have talked about this, they're expecting XRP to get to 12 to 15% dominance, even though in the past it is true there was a moment in time when XRP had market dominance briefly over 30%. That was 2 cycles ago. That's a much higher bar now because there's way more coins. So when there's way more coins to consume that much of the market, I mean, I'm not going to say it's literally impossible. I would never go that far. That wouldn't make sense to say, and I don't believe that. I'm skeptical of it hitting that high ever again, but it also doesn't need to. Just because there's other coins, that just brings the percentage down in terms of XRP dominance. That has nothing to do with the price itself. But if you are talking about, like you see in the charts, that there's a chance that the dominance could get that high, I'm just saying what that means in terms of USD is very dramatic. That would make it impossible for XRP to not go into double-digit price action closer to like $30. If that happens, yeah, higher than $30 actually. But and I'm just kind of running some rough numbers in my head right now as I say that, because you can kind of figure out, because you can look at the market dominance. What's it now? What does that mean if the market cap for the entire asset class is like double where it is now, and then XRP gets 30% of that, and you can go, and then you go, oh, okay, well that's buck wild. So crazy things happen in crypto, and I do believe XRP can be worth way more. The cool thing is, even if it were just like 12 to 15%, yeah, that would be something. So that's why when he says here, many are calling for a top around 14%. Yeah, that's what I've seen. Anywhere around there, 12, 15%. And those people could be right. They could be right. But even if they're right, that is still like a crazy price for XRP still. So the fact that he's optimistic it goes even higher, I hope he's right. I really do. And he could be. The neat thing is he doesn't have to be for it to be life-changing for so many people listening right now, including myself, actually. But if that does happen, whew, oh, it's going to be quite a ride, folks. We really have something special in store for us. That is what's coming up. Yes, XRP's coiled up. It's been consolidating for a while now, good roughly half a year. It's going to go. The market is so perfectly primed. We just need something a spark to ignite the fire, as they say. We just need something to set this whole thing off, and then it just goes. That is ahead of us. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.